Okay, today we are going to go through the process of making and granulating TPA flash or burster compound. I've pre-measured my three components: potassium perchlorate, terephthalic acid TPA, and dark aluminum. So we start with my handy little screen and some paper. We mix the TPA and perchlorate together. Now you can diaper it if you want to, but I don't usually bother. This mix is not even flammable, so you just want to get it fully incorporated. There we go. Okay. Now I'm going to run that through the screen once more just to make sure it's well mixed. And right through. Spread it out, because next we're going to add our aluminum. All right. Distribute the aluminum. Pre-mix it a little by diapering. And back to our handy dandy screen, where we shake the mix through. And I'll say it again, this technique is for making TPA flash. This is not for making any other form of flash powder. TPA flash is much less sensitive to handling than standard forms. I will comment that I'm wearing all cotton clothing. I'm working outside in a fairly high humidity situation, and I'm standing directly on the dirt. So I still want to minimize the chance of a static discharge. Okay. We're going to do it again. Notice there's a little breeze. And one more time. And it's all sifted. Okay, this is flash powder. Some people use it just like this, don't bother granulating it. I prefer the handling characteristics when it's been granulated, and we'll start that process next. All right, I've pre-measured 5 fluid ounces of nitrocellulose lacquer. This is NC lacquer made from double base shot shell powder dissolved in acetone. If you use another kind of lacquer, you're going to have to adjust your proportions for the granulation process. So, in our nice and cool stainless steel bowl, don't work in the sun because these things act like a mirror and concentrate heat. We're going to put our flash powder. And we're going to start adding NC lacquer, and I'm going to just use my fingers to work it through. That's about the size of it. A lot of folks are going to cringe when they see this because this is flash powder, but when it is uncontained, it burns very slowly, much slower than black powder. And I don't hesitate to handle black powder in this manner. And I'd add that I don't know if it's more sensitive to initiation than black powder, but it's not, at this concentration, it is not an extremely sensitive powder. You can beat on it with a hammer all day and it will not initiate. All right, so we want to work that first ounce in real well. You don't want clumps, you want it well distributed. And you keep adding NC. Working it in. Okay, it's starting to come together a bit, as you might be able to see. I'm not sure how all that's going to show up, but it's starting to show some clumps in there. You want to try to keep those to a minimum. You want to really distribute the lacquer well through the powder. Because the bigger the clumps you have in your hand mix, the bigger the clumps you have to work through the screen. I kind of like to avoid that as much as I can. Alright, there's two. About a half ounce at a time I'm adding, working it in, half an ounce, work it in. And work it in slowly. You don't want to go too fast. You get too much lacquer in this, it turns to a soupy, useless mass of, I don't know, a flare composition of some sort. It burns very, very slowly. By weight, I'm aiming for about 2% actual nitrocellulose in the mix. My lacquer is about 13%. So I'm coming in fairly close, a little less than 2%. But I'm just looking for enough granulation to improve the handling and reduce the dust. Okay, yeah, we're getting almost to where we want to stop adding lacquer. A little more. And it's not quite to the beach sand stage, which is sort of what you want. You want it to gently hold together when you squeeze a handful. It's really pretty close. Yeah, not bad. Just a bit more. Yeah. Okay, so we've worked that in. Trying to break up as many of the clumps as I can, and yeah, this is right at the right stage when it starts holding together. Okay. Okay, my craft blind drying tray. going to take some of the compound, take them out, and put it in our screen. And I'm going to use my fingers to work the powder through the screen. I'm kind of holding it up high enough that some of the acetone is going to evaporate even as it falls, leaving us a nice lightly granulated powder. It doesn't tend to clump once it's been sitting for just a few seconds. Okay, so yeah, this is the tedious part. It takes a while. And again, if you're used to working with standard forms of flash, you're probably cringing watching how I'm handling this stuff. But it is not a overly sensitive powder. As you add more and more TPA, the sensitivity goes down even further to the point you can have a hard time lighting it with Visco Fuse. I've tried initiating this through impact and friction and not been successful in doing so. Steel hammer on a steel plate, whacking it as hard as I could, and it didn't do a thing. So I'm fairly comfortable working with it in this manner, and later in the video we're going to burn half of what we're making here. The other half is going in a 4-inch salute. So we'll burn a pound, and you'll get a chance to see exactly how fast this does burn. Okay, here's our composition drying in the sun, and if you look, you can see it handles very nicely. It's finely granulated, and it doesn't leave behind a lot of dust, unlike standard flash powder. So once this is fully dry, I'm going to run it through the screen one more time just to to shake out the lumps, and then we will test burning some of this. Okay, a close-up of how the composition looks. Okay, we're going to do a burn test of TPA flash. That's a standard Chinese E-match you see there in the middle of this old garbage can cover. And we're going to add half a kilogram, 500 grams of granulated TPA flash. And the E-match is right at the edge of it. Alright, we're going to test the burn rate of TPA flash in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.